All right, let's pick up where we left off. We'll buzz through here. This is round 2 of Nicolino versus Takeshi. Okay, let's see what we see. Now, Nicolino's going to get to his lead foot right here. And one thing to note, check out his rear foot, how he swings it around right here. Now, he's going to push off that rear foot and then snap off his jab. But before we show that, let's hone in on Takeshi. He's going to drop to the right side of his line right here. And then he's going to come back with this overhand. Now, since all of Nicolino's weight is on his lead foot, he'll pull to his rear foot, rolling with that rear hand. And notice where Nicolino's head ends up, over that rear foot. And let's get this train moving. Okay, just to give a better angle on that jab that we saw from Nicolino. So his head's over that lead foot. He's going to push off this rear foot, lift this lead, and then fire out that jab. And once again, check out how all his weight is on that lead foot. His rear foot is completely off the ground. Now, if Takeshi was throwing his overhand right here, Nicolino would have somewhere to pull, which is his rear foot. And we'll get this moving again. This one will just take a minute. So Nicolino will fold out his jab without pushing off his rear foot right here. Now, Takeshi didn't respond, so this time Nicolino's going to push off that rear foot, take a big step with this lead foot, throwing his lead hook to the body. And note, once again, Nicolino's head is over that lead foot. Now, Takeshi drops, and he's looking for his overhand. And Nicolino is going to push off this lead foot, pull to his rear foot right here. And check out how all his weight is on his rear foot and nothing's on that lead foot. And right here, check out this rear foot swing. And once again, he's going to push off this rear foot for that lead hook to the body. All right, this is an interesting sequence. Nicolino's going to push off this rear foot for a lead hook right here. Now, Takeshi catches that lead hook on his lead foot, and there's nothing wrong with that idea. Now, Nicolino's going to follow up with his rear cross, but I want to go down a rabbit hole here. Nicolino is aiming where Takeshi's head is currently, over that lead foot. What Takeshi could do is use his lead hook as Nicolino comes in with that rear cross, meaning they'd be punching on the same beat. So again, Takeshi's throwing his lead hook or check hook as Nicolino commits his rear cross, and his head would end up over his lead foot, right in the path of where Takeshi's hook would be traveling. And Takeshi's head would end up over his rear foot. Now, unfortunately, Takeshi wasn't ready to throw that check hook on the same beat as Nicolino. Nicolino does catch him with his cross right here. And then next, Takeshi throws his leaping hook as Nicolino pulls to his rear foot. Now, Takeshi's in a step with his lead foot right here, looking for his leaping hook as Nicolino bobs down. And I mentioned this in round 1. When Nicolino looks to bob or drop down, he's looking to pendulum in the direction of where that attack originated from. So he'll bob down over this lead foot, shift his weight to his rear foot, and then pendulum to the right. All right, we're going to get cruising again. I do know this one takes a minute. Okay, here we are. Okay, Takeshi's in a step with this lead foot, slipping inside as Nicolino snaps off his jab right here. Now note Nicolino's head is still over that lead foot. Check out that rear elbow's tucked to catch that hook right here. Now next, Takeshi's going to throw his overhand as Nicolino pulls to his rear foot. And check out how all his weight is on that rear foot. And then Nicolino is going to start firing off some jabs here. 3 consecutive, 4. So this is a similar setup. Nicolino's going to snap off that jab as Takeshi slips inside to his lead foot right here, looking for his leaping hook to the body as Nicolino looks for his lead counter. Now, Takeshi will jab as Nicolino drops. Then he's going to throw his rear uppercut to his body right here, drop under this lead hook, and then pull to his rear foot, rolling with this overhand. Now, if you didn't notice on that last sequence, Nicolino's controlling Takeshi's lead arm right here. And as Takeshi goes for a second overhand, he's going to control his rear arm right here. And let's go ahead and speed through this section. All right, Takeshi's going to plant this lead foot and then pendulum to his rear foot to throw his rear cross as Nicolino pulls to his rear foot right here. Now, Nicolino's going to shift his weight to his lead foot, bobbing down right here. And as Takeshi looks for his lead hook, again, Nicolino likes to go in the direction of the attack, so he'll shift his weight to his rear foot and then pendulum to the right. And then another lead hook to the body for good measure. Then let's get this train moving again. Now, Nicolino's going to throw another lead hook to the body right here. Okay, so this is an interesting sequence. Nicolino's going to fold out his jab there, and then throw a leaping hook, rear cross. Now, Takeshi's going to counter with his leaping jab as Nicolino moves to his rear foot, but then he's going to slip back in and catches him with this hook. Okay, Nicolino will put all his weight on that lead foot, snap off the jab, then lead hook, fold out 3 more jabs, parry that counter, and then 1 more jab. So Takeshi will step with this lead foot while dropping under Nicolino's jab right here. Now, once he plants, he's throwing this overhand right as Nicolino pulls to his rear foot. And as Nicolino pulls to his rear foot, he loads it so he can pendulum away. And we'll let this go for a little bit. All right, last clip, round 2. Takeshi's going to push off his rear foot, throw a jab to the body right here. He's going to follow up with the rear cross and note the pull from Nicolino. Nicolino's going to catch this hook to the body. And then check out this rear hand control as Nicolino steps back. And Nicolino's going to throw out a jab. Now, Takeshi's going to throw a hook, cross, as Nicolino pulls, then drops. Then he's going to pull this short right here, and then drop under the hook. And that'll do it for round 2.